Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us today. My name is Geeta, and I'm the chairperson of the San Francisco chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And on the stage, but all the way across the world, is Krunal Brahmabhat, who is the chairperson of the Baroda chapter, the Baroda branch of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So welcome one and all. To those of you in India, a very good morning. To those of you in the US, good evening. And for all those of you who are joining us from, from the various other parts of the world, a very good evening. So the question you must be asking yourself is, what are chartered accountants doing talking about art? It's not every day that that happens, right? But the thing is, Ravi Verma, he soars above us all. He unites us in our understanding of our gods and goddesses, the way we see them. To be honest, the only goddess Lakshmi or Saraswati that I see is the image that Ravi Verma painted for me. But he unites us in more than that. He unites us in the way that we see ourselves as Indians, our culture. And if you think about it, when Ravi Verma came of age, which was in the late 1800s, this was an India fighting for its independence. And Ravi Verma, for the very first time, brought to us this notion of a pan-Indian image, that could break barriers, that could break the barriers of caste and class and regionalism. For the very first time, it presented to us an image of a beautiful India, that we could, share with the world with pride and dignity. And I'm sure, in those days of freedom struggle, it must have injected so much of confidence into the average Indian. And Ravi Verma was a nationalist in more than one way. He believed that art needed to be shared with one and all, right? He believed in it as an equalizer. Although he made his fortune painting for nobility and royalty, he made sure that his art was accessed by the everyday man, by the Aam Aadmi. He brought culture, gods, goddesses into the life of the everyday Indian. It is the mark and measure of the greatness of this legendary artist that Google Arts and Culture, in partnership with the Ganesh Sivaswamy Foundation, has the largest collaboration, has a space online with the largest collection of Ravi Verma art. And we are very honored today to have Ganesh Sivaswamy, the founder of this foundation, with us on this webinar. But I encourage all of you to go into that space to see the beauty and the enormity and the awesomeness, as it were, of Ravi Verma and the stories behind it. But today's discussion is less about the art appreciation, but more about the genius, the marketing genius, the entrepreneurial visionary that Ravi Verma was. How did he manage to permeate our consciousness? How did he manage to break all those barriers? Here was, a royal from the south of the country that, spread his wings and flew into the hearts of people, not just across India, but in fact, across the world. How did he do this? And that is the story of today's discussion. I will now hand it over to Krunal, my co-conspirator and collaborator, chairperson, Baroda branch of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, to introduce our presenter for this evening, an absolutely passionate supporter and collector of the Ravi Verma arts. So Krunal, I hand it over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Geeta. It's been honored to introduce Sachin Kaluskar sir, and really privileged to be a part of this session. And thank you, Vish. So let me introduce our speaker. The speaker, Sachin Kaluskar sir, is an avid art collector and promoter. Sachin has been collecting original lithographs printed at Ravi Verma since last 14 years. Sachin is passionate to promote Raja Ravi Verma's legacy in India and abroad. Thematically created exhibitions on Raja Ravi Verma by Sachin has created inequalities in millions of today at know more about the legendary artist. Sachin has been invited by various management association and corporates like Reliance, L&T, Deepak Nitrite, etc. to talk about Raja Ravi Verma as a successful businessman. So it's my privilege to introduce on to Sachin Kaluskar sir on behalf of you. Thank you. So hand over to Geeta to acknowledge all the dignitaries.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you. So once again, we're delighted to have here with us today, Ramavarman Tampuran. He is a descendant of Raja Ravi Verma. And he brings you a wonderful message from the Kilamanur Palace in Kerala. Ganesh Sivaswamy, founder, the Ganesh Sivaswamy Foundation that I just referenced a little earlier on. They have the largest collection online of Ravi Verma work. Professor Vijay Bagodi, he's the Dean of the Faculty of Fine Arts, the University of Baroda. Kalpana Desai, founding member of the Society for Art and Cultural Heritage of India. Aarti Johri, President. Purnima Kumar, past director, also of SACHI, the Society for Art and Cultural Heritage of India. And finally, Usha Gaude. She is a deputy director of the Sakshi Gallery in Mumbai. And she's handled projects at the Lakshmi Mittal Art and South Asia Institute at Harvard University. She has also, she has the expertise and she has evaluated several Ravi Verma works of art. We are very honored to have you all here. Thank you very much indeed. I'll just take a few moments to, before I hand it over to Sachin, to talk about the format of today's webinar. Sachin will be leading us through this fascinating story. There will be a 15-minute Q&A at the very end. I encourage all participants to please send us questions through the chat mode or the question mode on your Zoom app. Thank you. Over to you, Sachin.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Vish. Thank you, San Francisco chapter of ICAI. And thank you, Krunal, for partnering. Today is 172nd birthday of Raja Ravi Verma, the man who gave faces to our gods and goddesses. The man, I would call him as a disruptor. How I would call it a disruptor? Let us have a look at from these presentation. Can you see my screen, Geeta?
Yes, yes.
Here is a new perspective about Raja Ravi Verma. We have been talking about Ravi Verma as an artist, how Ravi Verma created paintings of gods and goddesses. We all know, we have seen them since our childhoods. But then a very less has been researched about Raja Ravi Verma as a businessman or as a person, how he influenced India, how he influenced the world. Let's talk about that. You know, some small things which he did in his life, which proved to be big enough for India. Let us talk about those. Raja Ravi Verma, a new age perspective. I have been collecting lithographs of Raja Ravi Verma's press since last 14 years. And while my master's degree, well, is in journalism, and I am more interested in knowing about visual communication aspect of it. So I would call him as positive disruptor. The tech disruption, we have been talking about disruptions by internet itself and then Facebook and so many technology companies, Google itself, the change we live today. But talk about 150 years ago when a man who ventured into a territory which was never thought before, a territory which was dominated by Europeans only, a territory which Indians never saw before. what did he do? He created paintings of gods and goddesses. He was the man who competed with established European artists who were masters in creating portraits, and they were favorites of many royals. And also they were known for their landscape portraits. Raja Ravi Verma, a self-taught man, an artist, he created a niche for himself by not just creating beautiful portraits of royals, of Britishers, of wealthy businessmen, but he also created immortal paintings of gods and goddesses for the first time. He gave faces to gods and goddesses. Not just, he did not limit himself by giving faces to gods and goddesses, he also printed them. He established a printing press for the first time in India and distributed those across every Indian household. So he changed the way we live today. He changed the way Indians worshipped then. Because imagine a situation 150 years ago, or probably 125 years ago, when he established a printing press. Temples were accessible only to a few strata of the society. And Ravi Verma's gods and goddesses available to everyone and establishing temples in every household, it disrupted entire religious practices, religious industry. Imagine the man. And while doing so, he became one of the richest men in India. So let me tell you a fascinating story of this man, some incidences which I found very interesting, which I will share with you, and how he could change the psyche of Indians and how he changed the way we live. So when you look at this 1936 calendar, sunlight soap, what do you see? Bhagwan Shankar, Parvati, Ganesh with a beautiful backdrop, Nandi and two lions. World's first branded soap, Sunlight, which was owned by Hindustan Unilever, then Lever Brothers. It was an MNC operating out of India. They used our gods to promote their products. The man who had so much influence, this press, and this was printed much after his death, Ravi Verma created immortal characters like Lakshmi, Saraswati, our gods, and these gods were used to promote the products. Imagine when India, most of the India was illiterate, the impact of this particular print on Indian psychology. If you see clearly, if you see carefully, you see Lord Parvati sitting confidently with one hand on Shankar's lap. What does this say? Where it talks about woman empowerment. It talks about family values, and even it talks about the security. While Indians were struggling for our freedom fighters, freedom fighting movement, these kind of prints, it helped create, as Geeta rightly said, it helped create that confidence in the Indians. So it was this is the most powerful visual communication, I would say. Today's Times of India also write very interesting thing that today in the lockdown, while we all are sitting at home, not able to visit temples, but thanks to Raja Ravi Verma, who gave our gods, and today we have temples we have at our home. So all thanks to Ravi Verma, I would say 150 years ago, probably, when he created gods and goddesses, and today we can worship them at our own comfort. So let me a little bit tell you about Raja Ravi Verma. By the way, you can ask whatever questions you have, you can ask in Q&A. We'll take it up as much as we can. And Geeta, and you are also free to ask me questions whenever you want to ask, whenever you feel that you want to ask me questions on behalf of the audience, please feel free to.
Certainly.
Yeah. Okay. So, life of Raja Ravi Verma. He was a child prodigy. At the age of 9, he started painting on the walls of Ayappa temple in Kilimanur premises. His maternal uncle, Raja Verma, saw the talent in the boy and sent him to Travancore Maharaja Ilyam Tirunal. There is a small incident I would like to share here. Maharaja Ilyam Tirunal, looking at the talent, he requested the then court painter Theodore Jensen to teach painting techniques to this boy. Theodore Jensen politely said, "I'm sorry, I will not be teaching him, but this boy can sit besides me and can see whatever he wants to learn without asking me questions." After a few days, when Theodore Jensen asked him, "What did you learn?" Ravi Verma replied, "I have learned the art of mixing colors from you." And then he started practicing on his own. He was self-taught artist. He created portraits, but he also created gods and goddesses. How? Because his mother was Sanskrit. His mother was dancer. His mother was a good storyteller. His father was Sanskrit scholar. So these things, what he learned, and he was born in an eminent royal family. So whatever he had learned as a kid, he could, because of his imaginative power, he could put them on canvas. He was most famous. He was very famous in 19th century. He he started realistic school. So realistic school painting, though there were other Indian artists who were also trying their hands to create paintings on canvas, but Ravi Verma, who made this most famous, he was the man who actually made oil on canvas as an Indian, made this most famous. He was patronized by Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad and many other royals. Sir T. Madhavrao, the Diwan of Baroda, and then before that he was Diwan of Trivandrum. He also encouraged Raja Ravi Verma and helped Ravi Verma become the Raja Ravi Verma. Interestingly, Raja Ravi Verma was conferred with Kaisar-e-Hind by British government. And also he was awarded by National Indian Congress for connecting India for nation building. Imagine two entities fighting with each other. Indian National Congress was fighting for Indian independence, and Raja Ravi Verma was awarded by both of them. Kaisar-e-Hind was awarded to Raja Ravi Verma for his services to British, and Indian National Congress gave him award for building nation, which actually helped India gaining independence. So how was this possible? Let's see it one by one. He was prince amongst painters and painter among prince. That was as Sayajirao Gaikwad told him. He was a legend who did many firsts in India. He was a visionary who created a solid foundation of visual communication. When we say ourselves as cultural and cultural legacy we are boast of, it was Raja Ravi Verma who has played an important role in establishing that. He was grandfather of Indian cinema and advertising. It is because of him that Indian cinema was born, not directly but indirectly. Dada Saheb Phalke, who has said to have worked in Ravi Verma Press, though there is no evidence of that. But while he made his first movie, Raja Harishchandra, and many other movies, they were completely directly influenced by Raja Ravi Verma's painting techniques and subjects. Also, when I have shared you this earlier calendar, 1936 calendar, you can see that celebrity endorsement, what we talk of today, it was there before also. And celebrity endorsement here in this case was Shankar, Parvati, and Ganesh, our gods, who sold a product, Sunlight soap. Even I bought my car Hyundai just because Shah Rukh Khan was promoting it, and I was then Shah Rukh Khan fan. I bought it. So imagine Indians then who saw Lakshmi with Sunlight soap advertisement or Shankar, how many soaps could they sell? And it was one of the successful brands for HUL. Let me unfold this story, Raja Ravi Verma's success story. Let us talk about the other side of the marketing and business group. So there were techniques which he employed in his life. There were successes, there were failures. It is not that he was the only person, he was the man who win only. But then there were failures also. But he continued and he became one of the richest man, not just richest man by monetary terms, but richest man. He won Indian hearts. So he was also Raja of Indian hearts. Somebody actually told me that in a Hindi poet, कि राजा रवि वर्मा ने भगवान को कण कण से निकाल के घर घर में प्रस्थापित कर दिया. That is what he did. But how could he did? Because he had right mentors. Raja Ravi Verma painted for royals and wealthy businessmen with hefty commissions for his efforts. He charged about 1500 rupees to up to 5000 rupees per painting. Imagine the value of 1500 or 5000 rupees back then. These patronages, these paintings helped him create an image of royal painter. He reached out to masses on the mentorship and sponsorship of such influences. There is an incident where there's a book published in 1910. It writes that Madhav Rao bought two paintings from Raja Ravi Verma, Sita's Ordeal, and one more painting, and he gifted it to Sayajirao Gaikwad. And Sayajirao Gaikwad saw this painting, loved it so much that he said, this artist must be invited to my investiture ceremony, which was in December 1881. We all know this story. This story has been published. This story has been written by others also, including Maharaja Ranjit Singh Gaikwad, erstwhile Maharaja of Baroda. But the backstory, which we do not know, is Raja Ravi Verma actually written a letter to Madhav Rao on 25th August 1881 that find me an appropriate occasion to visit Vadodara, to be invited to Vadodara. So he knew that if he would be patronized by Sayajirao Gaikwad, or Baroda was then the second richest state after Nizam's, he knew that his career would take a next leap. This is a letter written by Swami Vivekananda while he visited Vadodara. He has written it to his friend in Junagadh, Diwan, that of all I have seen, something that to be seen is Raja Ravi Verma's paintings. It is also said that Swami Vivekananda, in his visit to Mumbai, visited Raja Ravi Verma, and Ravi Verma has created his portrait also. So these kind of communications, these kind of patronized efforts by royals and eminent nobles helped Raja Ravi Verma to create that image. Though there is a lot to speak about Ravi Verma, I will take it as fast as possible because time is also pressing. But wherever, Geeta, you feel you can ask me questions. So because of this because of this help and mentorship of these royals, Raja Ravi Verma could connect to India. How? When Sayajirao Gaikwad praises someone, or Nizam of Hyderabad, or any other royals, or even anybody who praises Raja Ravi Verma sitting at a higher position, his reputation reached out to people. He chose Hindu gods, goddesses, and mythological subjects to paint. This was a territory untouched before. Nobody could even think of. There were definitely mythological subjects prevailing. It is not that we did not have paintings, but we did not have paintings in 2D forms, in frescoes, and on the temple walls. Also, we see a lot of interesting sculptures in ancient temples, but they had limited access. What Ravi Verma did, he created gods, goddesses, mythological subjects, and also add drama to it. When you look at one painting, you would feel that, and you would feel connect, because he created gods as common humans. This was instant connect with highly devotional Hindu population country. His paintings and oleographs that actually gave wings to people's imagination. People were imagining gods in their imaginations only. But actually, when Ravi Verma established his printing press and the oleographs of these subjects reached out to people, it actually gave wings to gods and the mythology. He depicted power, love, romance. Look at this. Radha and Madhav. This is an oleograph, but original painting, Radha Madhav, is in Fateh Singh Museum at Baroda. And Ravi Verma has created this scene in the moonlight. Here you see oleograph in the daylight, where Radha is sitting. She's unaware of her condition. And Krishna coming from behind and surprising Radha. Look at the pure love and look at the drama created, the trust that both of them had. People had heard stories of Radha and Madhav, but seeing this, it actually interested the people. People enjoyed seeing those. Lakshmi, what Ravi Verma created. Look at the sari that has been won by Raja Ravi Verma. Lakshmi, and he created, so this sari became national dress. And also he created sari like we wear today, and goddess giving ashirwad to our people. If you want to succeed, what do you want to do? What do you need to do? You need to empower your clients. You need to engage your clients. What Ravi Verma did was he engaged his audience by what they needed. There was a dire need to worship gods and goddesses in privacy. The social fabric then did not allow to enter into temple. Raja Ravi Verma's oleographs allowed a common man to own a god. So when you engage your audience, when you empower your audience, definitely you have all the success that you want to wish, you want to see. Raja Ravi Verma had definitely commitment to excellence. He was famous, but he did not become run-of-a-mill artist. He created eternal masterpieces. He sensed the opportunity to reach out to Indians, and because of that, he established a printing press. He did not oversupply, though he had a team of people working under him. I'll tell you little later. Newspaper then, they were most popular media, and newspaper were accessible only to few Indians, to eminent Indians and eminent people of India, because most of the Indians were illiterate. But newspaper, wherever it reached, it ensured Ravi Verma, whatever Ravi Verma won medals, Ravi Verma has won multiple medals, many accolades in his life. So whatever Ravi Verma did, the newspapers ensured to have good coverage. And there is a diary maintained by Ravi Verma's younger brother, Raja Raja Verma. And the diary has many such incidences where it talks about how Ravi Verma was mentioned in media. So he knew that to reach out to mass, he had to use the mass media, and mass media used him as well. So his popularity reached sky high with the constant coverage of what Ravi Verma did. This is very important, my friends, building the brand Ravi Verma. It was everywhere, it was Ravi Verma. Raja Ravi Verma, while he established printing press, it was Ravi Verma Press and not, and the printing press was imported from Germany. It was managed by a German lithographer, Fritz Leischer. It had German printing machinery, it had German ink, it had German paper, but then it was known as Ravi Verma Press, the Ravi Verma Fall Press. There was no mention of imported from Germany or nothing imported. It was Ravi Verma. Ravi Verma created importance of himself amongst royals and wealthy business families. What he knew, what his clients needed. There is an interesting incident. Raja Ravi Verma and his brother, they were invited at Udaipur Palace. Maharaja Fateh Singh was a prominent king having strong lineage from Maharana Pratap, and he had huge impact on Indians and the northern side of India. So Ravi Verma knew that if he could get patronized by Maharaja of Udaipur, his career would definitely reach out to a different level. So while he reached there, Maharaja was busy with so many other things. The reason, and Maharaja did not give proper time to Ravi Verma and his brother. The reason is there were other artists in the court who did not want one more competitor to enter and disrupt what they were doing before. Maharaja gave some of the sittings to him, but Ravi Verma knew what did he want. So Ravi Verma actually got to know, Ravi Verma inquired and got to know that Maharaja wanted a huge portrait of Maharana Pratap. While they had time in Udaipur, Ravi Verma researched about Maharana Pratap. He met all these scholars, understood what Maharaja Fateh Singh wanted, because he came from direct lineage of Maharana Pratap, and there was no such huge portrait of Maharana Pratap, which was a god for that, for all the Rajasthani people. Ravi Verma understood how Maharana Pratap looked like. His younger brother created beautiful backdrop of Udaipur as a backdrop, and he chose one warrior to pose for him as Maharana Pratap. They created that painting and gifted it to Maharaja Fateh Singh. Maharaja was so happy that Maharaja actually gave him more commissions. He gave him money. He also gave him many more gifts. He had his, it was not that his brand was built overnight. Ravi Verma had very commitment to, he had commitments of supplying what his client needed. He also was choosy in his quality. And because of that, and also he was adhere to his time limits and everything that helped him create. And also he had agents across. He had agent in Mysuru, who had friends, rather, I would call, not agent. Agent is not that right word, but he had friends who actually helped him, like in Udaipur, who had Rai Pannalal Mehta, who helped him. I think I have some questions. Let me see.
Yes. So the first question was,
yeah.
We spoke about branding now. The question actually was perhaps from the previous section, when you talk about his, his artwork and his commitment to excellence and so on. So the question was, what is the significance that in Ravi Verma's paintings, it's largely women? So, you have Menaka, Shakuntala, Damayanti, Lakshmi, Saraswati. So why was it largely women? Was it just that it was prettier? I mean, what was the reason?
Okay, so interesting question. Thank you so much, Geeta. So Raja Ravi Verma, if you have, the audience, if you have seen his paintings, he had created interesting paintings. He characterized woman as goddess, and he depicted many emotions of a woman. Woman as a mother, a woman as lover, woman as supporter. Because if you look at a painting called Chitralekha, where an assistant Chitralekha, she helps Usha, her boss or the queen, help her getting her prince charming. So there were many, and Lakshmi, Saraswati, Menaka, Vishwa, and Shakuntala, so many paintings on women subjects. Now, these paintings, these subjects, and the oleographs later on, it actually helped the women imagine or understand that we were fighting for our own independence. Men, mostly, they were engaged in fighting. They were out of their homes. They were not taking care of their homes. But then women, it was all the responsibility of women to take care of their elderly people, take care of homes, and also raising the kids. What kind of pressure women were going through? We haven't, did we actually notice that? While we give uh, before Gandhiji, this was the case, because after Gandhiji arrived, women were also engaged in fighting against Britishers. But before Gandhiji, when mostly men were fighting against the Britishers, imagine the condition of women then. And while looking at these oleographs that give strength to women, and actually it gave the right spirit to fight sitting at home to all the women. So he empowered his audience, the women and also men, and then that actually helped him and helped achieve us independence in the longer time. Any
Right.
other question? Yeah.
Yes, I think this might be a question related to branding.
Yeah.
But I mean, I leave it to you. But the question is, he made these wonderful pictures, paintings of gods and goddesses, and yet they were used to sell soap. They were used to sell, everyday mundane things. Was
Yeah.
there any criticism of him that he actually, in a way, monetized or harnessed our gods and goddesses and sold this, to sell stuff?
No,
To
no,
be a merchant?
actually not him, because these things started much after his death. So definitely they used Ravi Verma's subjects to sell their products. But while
Okay.
Ravi Verma was alive,
Okay.
the press did not print these advertisements. Definitely Prince had taken, because this was business for Ravi Verma Press. Ravi
Right.
Verma Press, while Ravi Verma Press knew what people want, but it also knew that what their clients needed, the advertisers needed. So there were special, like if I am into art promotion, if I am selling paintings, I would also want my corporate clients to buy in bulk. So there were bulk orders. If Ravi Verma Press printed paintings or this lithographs, they
Right.
would be bought by individuals. It can be in one or two quantity. But if they get, say, uh, order from Hindustan Lever like company or any other company, they would get it in bulk.
Right. So it was the printing press after his death that
It was the
owned
printing press.
these.
Yes, yes. After the death, they started printing. But then it was Ravi Verma's subject that had most impact.
Okay, awesome. Do you have time for another question? This question is, did
Yeah.
he have a muse? Did he have a muse?
So this is a question, and lot has been written about. If you read a biography written by Ranjit Desai in Marathi and then translated by Vikrant Pandey in English, it talks about existence of a lady called Sugandha, and also in film Rang Rasiya, directed by Ketan Mehta, it shows the relationship between Raja Ravi Verma and Sugandha, but then it is a question mark definitely about the relationship, because this was a novel written by Ranjit Desai, so it definitely had chance to for imagination to add whatever an author wanted to write. Also in film, Ketan Mehta had his own imagination, his own little bit creative freedom which he used. But then yes, definitely when you say muse, I would say he had inspiration, because when you look at the paintings like Lakshmi, Saraswati, or many others, there are faces, right? There are definitely faces, and there are faces of common women. Ganesh Shivaswamy, my dear friend, has recently revealed in one of his lectures that the Lakshmi's painting was actually painted, and he would say it more. And there are a lot of articles now, and you would see it on Google Arts and Culture also. So Ravi Verma had definitely inspirations of women faces, beautiful faces, which he translated into beautiful visual communication stories.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And look at this painting of Maharana Pratap, the grandeur of Maharana Pratap, which Ravi Verma created. And Maharaja Fateh Singh was so happy with this. And also he gave commissions to various other portraits. Okay, so what is important if you want to be successful in any new business, a new enterprising business, which has been never thought before, which people do not know about. And if you want to get into this, a breathtaking business, would you jump in? No. Ravi Verma also, before establishing his printing press, though it was advised by Sir T. Madhav Rao, his mentor, and Ravi Verma had huge affection for Sir T. Madhav Rao, and also it was suggested by Sayajirao Gaikwad to Raja Ravi Verma that Ravi Verma, you have only two hands. With these two hands, how many people you will be reaching out to? And both of them had an advice to Ravi Verma to establish a printing press or to get his paintings oleographed from Germany. Germany was market leader in printing technology. As we all know, Gutenberg invented printing press in Germany, and Ravi Verma established printing press with German technology, with German technicians. But before spending 2 lakh rupees, then Raja Ravi Verma definitely did think twice before doing that, and before that he did a market research. Before establishing a printing press, Ravi Verma had a commission from Sir Sayajirao Gaikwad for 14 mythological paintings. These paintings were created in Kilimanur Palace, and wherever Ravi Verma goes, Ravi Verma had a huge team of people working for him, working with him, and he was working on all his commissions wherever he went, and he was working on those. So while he completed those 14 mythological paintings, he requested Maharaja to exhibit them. He wanted to see people's response. He wanted to understand what people think about the paintings, because most of his paintings were hung on the walls of royals or big people, and they were not accessible to common man. Even if he had created any portrait or gods and goddesses, but then they were on the walls of royals having limited access. So Ravi Verma wanted to establish, wanted to understand, and these 14 paintings were exhibited. This is one of the cuttings that Raja Ravi Verma requested, and Sayajirao Gaikwad gave him that permission also. So he exhibited those 14 paintings, first in Trivandrum, then en route to Mumbai, and then in Baroda. Though Ravi Verma has done many less exhibitions, but whenever his exhibitions have happened, he appeared as demigod. He was creator of God, and people flocked in quantity in lakhs, and people queued up to see these paintings. And these paintings, this exhibition, and the encouraging response from people, it actually gave Ravi Verma the right confidence to establish printing press. So this is one incident that led to Ravi Verma to establish a printing press. And these, while even they also printed small photographs, a postcard size photographs of the paintings, and they were actually bought and exchanged as exchangeries, and also like return gifts kind of thing. So Ravi Verma, whenever he appeared because he had by that time already achieved a demigod status, which we see in southern film industry. You know, even today, Rajnikant, before release of a film, we see huge cutouts of those heroes. So probably I would say that this was the inspiration, while Ravi Verma used to appear as a demigod, and then people flocking to see those paintings.
Sachin, we have maybe another 15 minutes of your...
I'll be done. Yeah. So building a dream team, because if you want to be successful, you alone cannot succeed. You need a right team to live with your passion, to live to your dreams. And Raja Ravi Verma had a team of his own younger brother, Raja Verma, M.V. Durandar, M.A. Joshi, and many others. Even Ravi Verma Press was run by famous German lithographer Fritz Schleicher. Later on, Ravi Verma sold his press to Fritz Schleicher, and he continued, and the press continued for quite a long time. And Fritz Schleicher also made a fortune out of this press. And Ravi Verma employed many talented artists from JJ School of Art, Mumbai. Ravi Verma was dragged in it was a court case. You know, there was a court case on Raja Ravi Verma for bringing gods and goddesses out of temple and placing them in every Indian household. There were Pandits or Shastris, few of them, who did not like what Ravi Verma did. He disrupted the common religious practices, and when he gave gods in form of oleographs. So many of them were also angry on him. Ravi Verma fought the case on his own, and he won. It is there in Ranjit Desai's book, though still we have not yet found strong evidences. There were definitely litigations, but the court case we have not yet found. but it is written in Ranjit Desai's book, and he actually fought the case. And whatever the case may be, there was definitely a litigation, and there were also people knew about this. And while in crisis communication, people knew about Ravi Verma more, and people flocked to buy his oleographs printed in Ravi Verma's press. Ravi Verma, the man who actually thought out of the box, he did many firsts well before others even thought about them, using oil on canvas, making it popular, even getting into a territory which was only for European artists. So he gave strong competition to many European artists in terms of getting portraiture commissions. He gave faces to gods and goddesses, because of which he became hugely famous in India. Commissioning work with heavy charges, he was charging huge amounts. So whatever he did, it is still there. Even we are talking about him on his 172nd birthday. So we know and why we are talking about him today. So because of his out of the box thinking and the things that he did, and also destiny favored him, and destiny favored those who were brave hearts. He was brave heart in whatever he did, and because of this, he achieved. Let me run you through some paintings made by Raja Ravi Verma. This is portrait of Sir Sayajirao Gaikwad. Even immediately after the investiture ceremony of Sayajirao Gaikwad, look at this painting. A young Sayajirao Gaikwad, young, energetic, dynamic man with royal grandeur. If you look at the books kept here, Sayajirao Gaikwad at the age of 13, if you let me tell a little bit about Sayajirao Gaikwad, he was chosen as a king of Vadodara at the age of 13, and he could speak only Marathi. But by the 1888 and 1881, while he was conferred all the powers as a king of Vadodara, he was fluent in English, he was fluent in Gujarati, in Marathi, he could read, write, speak, and the books, it talk a lot about him being a learned man, and him being the brave, the sword what you see, and the bell and everything what you see here, even in royal attire, it is Sayajirao Gaikwad, and one of the best portraits painted ever by any artist of Sayajirao Gaikwad. This is Mohini, his one more interesting character. Mohini was a woman who lured people, and who, in ancient times, when we know that, well, while Dev and Danava, gods and demons, were fighting to extract Amrut, elixir, Mohini played an important role. Vishnu disguised himself as Mohini and took that elixir from demons and gave it to gods. This is that Mohini. Shakuntala Patra Lekhan. Look at the emotions here. Shakuntala, she is writing letter to Dushyant, her husband who has forgotten her, and her friends, they are in support to Shakuntala. So when you see, the women were supporting each other. This was the time when women were supporting each other, because their men were fighting, they were in the fields, and they were not at homes. So these kind of paintings or even oleographs, it actually gave that strength to women to support each other. While Shakuntala is trying to look for her husband, they are the friends who are supporting her. This is Shantanu Matsyagandha. This is Maharaja of Mysore. Hans Damayanti. Hans was a messenger of Damayanti, and it played that role to spread all the messages what Damayanti had to Nal. Madri. This is kind of 3D painting. When you look at this painting, you look from any angle, Madri will change her posture for you. Saraswati, what we see at even the original painting is at Gadi Hall, Lakshmi Vilas Palace. I would urge all of you, whenever you get time and chance, please visit Maharaja Fateh Singh Museum, which houses paintings of Raja Ravi Verma, original paintings of Raja Ravi Verma, and also the palace which has these paintings, Lakshmi Vilas Palace. You must visit it. This is oleograph of Lakshmi, little bit different than what we saw earlier, a painting. This is oleograph from Ravi Verma Press of Lakshmi. This is one of the most viewed imagery in the world, I would say. This is Krishna Shishtai. This was functioning of Ravi Verma Press. Look at the mass production, the scalability, what we talk today. This was the thing, while he had many artists working under him, and they were working at, this is at Malavali Lonavala Press. He shifted in 1899. Let me give you a glimpse of Kilimanur Palace, where he was born. This is how it looks, an aerial view. a beautiful palace and lush greenery. Kerala is known for. Kilimanur is 30 kilometers away from Trivandrum. And if you ever visit Trivandrum, you must visit this place. This is the studio, Chitrashala, where Raja Ravi Verma created all his masterpieces. And this studio.
Sorry, I know that
Yeah.
you have a message from Sri Ramavarman.
Okay.
That you know, of the
Yes.
Kilimanur Palace. Is that something that you will share now or share later?
Please, you share it with right now. You have it with you. It would be great. So actually, I wanted to speak about this after this slide, that Rama Varma Thampuran, and this is original easel used by Raja Ravi Verma to create these paintings. And Rama Varma is renowned music director. He is a singer, an amazing singer, and he's also part of the team that has won Guinness Book of World Record Awards. So Vishwa Guru was a biopic, and Rama Verma ji has given music. He's a music director of that film, and he's also working on creating album for Raja Ravi Verma. Soon you will see some good developments happening here. Geeta, if you can please run that video.
Yes, if you'll just give me a minute, I'm going to try and share my screen.
Namaste. Good morning, everybody. I am Rama Varma Thampuran from Kilimanur Palace. I am very glad to know about the webinar talk on the success story of the great artist Raja Ravi Verma, organized in connection with 172nd birth anniversary of the legendary artist. The incredible story of his meteoric rise as an artist has thrilled, inspired, and motivated millions of people all over the world. I congratulate the San Francisco chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Baroda branch of WIRC for organizing such a talk on this lockdown period. My best wishes to Mr. Sachin Kailiskar, who is an eminent resource person and an authority on the subject. So please listen to him, get inspired. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rama Verma ji.
Go ahead, Sachin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is original easel used by Raja Ravi Verma, and he created all these masterpieces using this easel, and they have kept it. The family members have kept it here, and this Chitrashala is now a prayer hall. People come here, they do prayers, they offer prayers to Raja Ravi Verma, and they go. A lot of visitors from across the globe, they visit this palace, and it is protected by Archaeology Society of India as a protected monument. Okay, this is Natakshala, where Ravi Verma would have got the wings, could have imagined, because this is Natakshala, where there were performances of Ravi Verma as a kid. He saw many performances, and probably this would have given that wings to his imagination, and he could come up with gods and goddesses. This is Putan Malika, a bungalow designed and built by Raja Ravi Verma. He wanted to invite all his patrons and supporters to celebrate his 60th birthday, and this was specially built for Sir Sayaji Rao Gaikwad. Also, Rama Verma ji told me, while I visited that place, Rama Verma ji told me that this bungalow was supposed to be the exhibition hall for the paintings of Raja Ravi Verma. He wanted to exhibit all his paintings here, and before that he wanted Sayaji Rao Gaikwad to stay here. So this was the bungalow designed and specially built for Sayaji Rao Gaikwad as per his test of colors and architecture. So here we are done. Whatever questions you have, you may ask us. This is the page Legend of Raja Ravi Verma on Facebook. There is a group Ravi Verma Raja Ravi Verma you can find, and please be part of that group. A lot of interesting stuff we share. And also Ganesh Shivaswamy has a page, Raja Ravi Verma by Ganesh Shivaswamy. I request you to kindly search Raja Ravi Verma on Facebook and please like these pages and be part of these groups. You will find very interesting stuff regularly coming in. And I congratulate Ganesh for launching the world's largest online exhibits on Google Arts and Culture. Thank you, Ganesh. And thank you, Vish. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Geeta, Sudha, for having me here. Thank you, Kunal. And I'm open to questions, whatever you may have.
Right. So the question was, is there a single memorable event, and you already related a couple, but are there any other memorable events from the life of Raja Ravi Verma?
Oh yeah, there are many. But as I said, I would most memorable event would be I would say that at the age of 8 or 9, while he was creating paintings on the walls of Ayappa temple, he was spotted by his mama, Raja Verma, and he realized the real talent in this boy. Had he not seen that, or had he not realized this talent, Ravi Verma would not have become the Raja Ravi Verma. So I would say that this was the most memorable or incident for Ravi Verma to become Raja Ravi Verma.
Right.
Okay, so we have a question from Akash Borse that I would want to congratulate Sachinji. Thank you, Akashji, for your appreciation. And his question is, his marketing and branding skills were awesome. Can we find more evidences, examples of the same? Yes, there are many, but due to time constraint, I could not take many of them. But Akashji, you can send me an email. I have just shared my email ID, and Akashji, and I can share. And whoever wants, I can share more evidences. They are there, but then due to time constraint, I could not share many of them.
Right.
And any painting of creator himself? Yes, again, one more question from Akash. Yes, there is a painting, what you see here, let me show you. This is only one what we see. Now, Ravi Verma himself never painted portrait of his, but this was done by his sister, Mangalabai Tampurati. This is the only thing that we see, and this painting of Raja Ravi Verma, portrait of Raja Ravi Verma.
Sachin, can I ask one question?
Yeah, please go ahead, Kunal.
Okay. Just I would like to know that how much wealth he has been created out of his business in that era, basically, if you have any idea.
This was expected from a chartered accountant.
Exactly.
Okay, so well, it is not measured how much wealth did he create, but yes, he was charging hefty amounts. So just one example. Sayajirao Gaikwad gave him 50,000 rupees for the paintings he created for Baroda Palace. Then imagine the value of 50,000 rupees then. And using this 50,000 rupees, he established printing press. Also for Udaipur Commission, what he painted, he was given about 5,000 rupees. So value of 5,000. Then you are a chartered accountant, you can calculate very well.
Yeah. Crores, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Most welcome. Can you play the prayer by
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I would like to sing a traditional Saraswati Shloka in memory of the great artist Raja Ravi Verma, who created the most beautiful paintings of gods and goddesses.
श्लेष पद्मासना
लभते भेद देवै सदा पूजित सामा पातु सरस्वती भगवती सामा पादो सामा पादो सरस्वती भगवती निशेष जाठ्यापहा निशेष जाठ्यापहा निशेष जाठ्यापहा
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Goosebumps.
Once again, there are the questions. If there are, please, I think it's all around sending the videos. It says, congratulations, dear Sachin, for making all of us aware about the many things which we were unaware of. Well, on that note, Krunal, would you like to add?
First of all, I would like to thank Sachin to brief about Raja Ravi Verma's history. And I would also like to thank Vish to give us an opportunity to Baroda branch to jointly host this session. And thank you, everyone. And I hope this legacy will be carried forward in future as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, my ending note would just be that these are unprecedented times. But the only silver lining in all of this is that we've been able to connect in ways that we haven't in the past. Today, for instance, Raja Ravi Verma has brought people from across continents together, sharing in this manner. We're also honored to have been able to collaborate with a sister branch. My only hope is that this continues and we continue to bring joy and information and entertainment to our communities. And in this, we are assisted. I mean, this is made possible because of our sponsors, both here and in Baroda. So from the very bottom of our hearts, we thank all the sponsors who've made this possible and all of you, our viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sachinji.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this is us signing off. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.